Once again, my name is George. I'm from London, George Kaduri, live on the island of Mallorca. Came across Life Wave um, late September last year, signed up on the 6th of October, met Javi probably 10 days before that. We'd had one call and then another call. And those, some of you know this, when on our second call, we understood each other very well about networking and about a lot of other things. I'd said I was never going to do a network again, but when I saw a video of David Schmidt speaking to health professionals, and I said to myself, if this is true, it's revolutionary. I've always been interested in quantum medicine and electric, the electric body. Um, I then said, I'm going to try this, but I need to speak to somebody who's been working with the company for a while. And that was Don Javier Solis. And on our second call, I said, I've got to go now. It's my birthday in 4 minutes. He said, I don't believe it. Mine too. So we've been playing, working together ever since, supporting people as much as we can. So um, one of the things Javi always wants to talk about urgency and how to make managers. And one of the things that Chris and I want to talk about in this call is realistic expectations. So I'm going to let Chris start with that, but also I want to talk about plugged in and what does that mean, and keeping people plugged in and seeing who plugs in and who doesn't, because that's a little bit to do with making managers. But Chris, why don't you start off, and I'll just jump in, and I'm sure Javi will jump in.
All right, fantastic. Thank you, George. Those of you that don't know me, my name is Chris. I'm from Johannesburg, South Africa, and I've been part of LifeWave for 8 months now. And I'm extremely grateful to George for introducing me to LifeWave, and it's completely turned my life 360 degrees. And in the in the last 8 months, we've just in our little group, we've witnessed literally miracles happening every single day, literally every single day. Um, but then, David Schmidt, um, he's got so many videos and talks that he's done talking about what we're talking about now, having realistic expectations on the product. So I'm going to talk straight about what we mentioned many times on the presentations. We talk about the 90-day protocol. Now, that's something that is so important to keep in the back of your mind, because a lot of people are expecting results within a day or two, and that is completely unrealistic. We're talking about, everybody today lives in what we call the drive-through breakthrough mindset. Everybody's expecting results like immediately. And, I just want to talk about a, oh, just give me 1 second. So I want to talk about the 90-day protocol. So David Schmidt has got that in place because your body gets to an optimum level after 90 days of being on using the product. Now, the Chinese philosophy goes even deeper. The Chinese philosophy, anytime you're putting now in LifeWave, we're not putting anything into your body, but you're doing something different for your body. So Chinese philosophy says that to get results, to get your body to an optimum level, you've got to be on a product for 1 month for every decade that you are alive. So if you are 60 years old, you need to be using the product for 6 months and another 90 days on top of that. So that's talking about the 90-day protocol. Now, I spoke to a person the other day. I'm not going to mention any names. Maybe they might watch the recording of this. If they do, well, hopefully they get a message out of this. But this person's husband had a motorbike accident 43 years ago and has been in pain, has been on chronic medication, has been taking injections, been on cortisone injections, inflammation tablets for 43 years, right? Got him onto the patches. He was on the patches for 17 days. And you know what he did? Quit. He quit after 17 days because he said that the product didn't work. But he's happy to use chronic medication, put all the toxins in the body for 43 years, but only gave the product 17 days. Guys, if you ask me, you might as well rather take that money and put it in the toilet. Should not have even started to take the product. So when I get a person onto the product, I say to a person, do you want to change your health? If you do, you need to commit to the minimum of 90 days. Now, I look at myself. If you want to call it a one-patch wonder, you guys know my story. I got a result after 5 days. After day 5, I got amazing results. But my girlfriend, Lucinda, it took her 7.5 weeks before she got a result. 7.5 weeks. So, yeah, so George, let me hand over to you quickly to elaborate on that. I just want to quickly put the
So
microphone
what?
on.
So what? So what Chris is saying is about realistic expectations. We do have many people who notice something within seconds, minutes, hours, first day, but that can also make other people who have things cooking in their bodies for a very long time say it doesn't work. I've had a series of calls with a person in my Spanish group who's been using X39 for 2 weeks, and she hasn't noticed the thing that she wants to notice, hasn't noticed any changes with that. And she's kind of, oh, I don't know, and I can't tell anybody about it because, and so on. And my daughter didn't already, her pain didn't drop. And I said, how long has your daughter's situation taken to develop? Yeah, like 2 decades. Okay, so remember what I'm telling you, 90-day protocol. But tell me, you must have noticed something. She said, yeah, maybe I'm in a better mood. Yes, I'm in a better mood. And then I said, yeah, and is that all? She said, yeah, actually, it's easier for me to walk up and down the stairs. I don't have that pain in my knee. So, a lot of times people are focused on, I want this to be fixed, and they're not actually noticing anything else. So that's one of the reasons I pretty much always give people the health tracker. I don't know if you're aware of the health tracker. I'm happy to show you guys where to get the health tracker on the back office if you want. What do you think, Chris? It's a very useful tool, especially for people in the beginning, because it helps them to sort of quantify the changes and the improvement. But that's kind of what we have to say about that. But we also want to talk about realistic expectations when you're building this as a business as well.
Yeah, I just want to quickly read out what Ingi has put. Now, I've known Ingi for a couple of years, and Ingi has suffered from trigeminal neuralgia. They call that the suicide disease. I know what Ingi has been through. And yeah, Ingi's been on the product for 7 months now, and she's had 3 pain-free weeks. But you know what? Ingi kept pushing. You know how important that is. He's just pushing. And that goes right back because Ingi is saying she's 66 years old. So it goes right back to what I was saying about the Chinese philosophy. 1 month for every decade that you've been alive. So I look at myself, I'm nearly 50. I've been on the product for 8 months. So I've done my decades of my life, and I've done the 3 months. And I look at the way I'm feeling. I'm not the same person that I was 8 months ago. George knows. George saw me on the Zoom call before I joined LifeWave. You knew what I looked like. You knew where my mind was at. I was hitting depression. I was tired. I was irritated. I was frustrated with life. I didn't look good.
And you had
My
no
life is
headspace for anything.
no
You had no
headspace for anything.
anything.
I
You were
had.
now. The other thing we wanted to talk about is realistic expectations when you take advantage of the compensation plan. This is a marathon. It's not a marathon that's heavy, but it's a long-term thing. So for people, Chris and I have talked about this, and we've seen a lot of people, especially in the world of crypto, who want to become millionaires in like 3 hours, and if it doesn't happen, they kind of give up. So with LifeWave, the compensation plan is super well thought out, very very, very powerful compensation plan. And in its steps and in the psychology of reaching through, getting through each step, there is a learning process that goes on. But if somebody says, after 1 month, oh, okay, let me put it like this. We all hear that Steve and Gina, they became they became senior presidential directors, making a whole lot of money in 28 or 27 days. However, and then people think, oh, well, I've been doing this for a month and I've only invited 4 people and I only got $60 or $200 or something like that. So how come they were able to do that? Because as Chris says, when he was talking in his in the calls to do with the 4 agreements, it takes something like 10,000 hours to get good at anything that you're doing. Chris can talk about that, to be able to unconsciously, what's the last stage, Chris?
The last stage of the 4 agreements.
No, the
Like,
last stage of consciously getting good at stuff. Being
oh, yes. Yeah, there's the 4 stages of learning anything new. That's by Brian Tracy. He came up with the concept. I can share it with
So what's
everybody
the
now.
last
It's
one?
actually the last one, unconsciously incompetent.
Un
Unconsciously competent, but you got to go
okay,
through the four to make it make sense.
so, so well, Chris will tell us about that in a minute, but I'm going to continue with this thought. So it takes a while to be what's the word? Unconsciously competent,
Unconsciously competent.
meaning that you can do stuff without thinking about it because it's become part of you and that you're very good at doing it. So Steve and Gina, they'd done networking for decades. So they were able to see this, take it, and make it huge very, very quickly. Some of us here, we've all done, we've worked with networks. We like networking. We maybe didn't have such a great result. Maybe we left it for different reasons. Some of us have had businesses and we're used to talking with people, but then there are other people for whom this is all completely new. And that doesn't mean that they cannot be very successful, because they very clearly can. We have a system that supports that. But there is a bit of a learning that needs to take place. And I always say it's a process, and each person goes through their own process at their speed. So when you're working with people, yes, I always say I'm in a big hurry, but I'm never in a hurry. Because I can say to somebody who says to me, I want to do this, teach me everything you know, and we can do session after session. But other people will have other things going on in their lives, and they'll say, I'll give an example of a guy I just invited in. He came in as Diamond, and he's basically his life and business allows him to give me 3 hours once a week, but a very intense 3 hours once a week, and that's his process. Some other people have a completely different rhythm and a completely different ability to input information. So what I'm saying here is realistic expectations for yourself of what you want, but also taking into account what you can give to this, what time you can give to it, what energy you can give to it. We all have the day-to-day of stuff. There's easy days, difficult days, complicated days, amazing days. But there is also, you know, energy that we give to stuff, and when we give energy, it grows. And when we come to the other thing I wanted to talk about is plugged in. Javi always talks about people being plugged in. If people are plugged in, they come on the calls, they're on the group, they're active, they're asking questions. Is somebody plugged in? Other people go, yep, I want to become very wealthy, but I don't want to get on any of the calls and I don't want to be on the group. It's very hard that it's going to happen. So I'll let Chris continue from there.
Thanks, George. You know, people don't have the patience to build a business for 3 years, but they got the patience to go to work 40 years. That's all about perspective and how badly do you want to make a change in your life. Now, talking about putting time in, if you're going to study to become a teacher or a doctor, you need to put the hours in. Did you know that a pilot may not fly a commercial aeroplane without 10,000 hours behind that wheel? 10,000 hours before you're allowed to fly that plane. And that's where you reach a certain competency level. So for you to become a master at any skill, you've got to put 10,000 hours into something. Now, 10,000 hours, if you work that out, you can achieve that in 3 years. So you can put time into building your business with LifeWave, and you can short track your life in a very short time frame. Now, you've also got to do a bit of what we call unprogramming, and Javi will tag me on this. This is we spoke about this the other day. Onyx Cole spoke about it in a training she did 2 weeks ago, where from school you are programmed 14,000 hours, programmed to fail, programmed to go and get a job. That's how we've been programmed. And people are saying they want to get out of their jobs. Most people complain that they haven't got enough money at the end of the month. You see, you've got residual bills, you've got passive bills. Those bills are there at the end of every single month. And we all know the way the world has shifted the last couple of years, and it's not getting easy. So people are looking for a way out. People are looking at a way to put extra money in. But when we talk about this is the most beautiful network marketing structure I've ever seen. But did you notice in the word network, it's got that four-letter swear word called WORK? It takes work. It's not called net weight marketing or net sit marketing. It's called network marketing. You've got to put the work in. But it's not the amount that you're putting in that you've got to go and put 10 hours in quickly and then another 10 hours now. No, in the beginning, we understand most people come into network marketing, they come into this industry starting off part-time because they want to make a change in their life. So I'm going to give you a little bit of the secret. The secret is not the massive amounts of quantity. The secret is the little bits, but on a consistent basis. Consistency is the big secret, but keeping it consistently and keeping it up, you make or break a physical habit in 21 days. You make or break a mental and emotional habit in 90 days. That's why we talk about 90-day cycles with everything. We spoke about the product, 90-day protocol. We talk about 90 days. 90 days is a season. Everybody is in a different season. So it's doing that little bit every single day consistently over 90 days. I can promise you, if you follow the 331 system for 90 days, you can't not get a result. You'll actually get a result in spite of you, actually by accident. Because guess what? You are doing those basics on a consistent basis.
Okay.
There we go, Javi.
So real quick, I want everybody to send one more text. This call is going to be crucially important for the nuggets are going to come on here for you to take your business to another level. Okay. Now, I'm going to touch base on real quick when Chris says, respect the season that you are in. Now, I'm going to use myself as an example, and I'm a visual guy. Okay. Now, when George says talking about, I'm gonna go back and forth here, what Chris said and what George says, because it was really important in terms of growth and the season that you are in and where you want to be. Okay. I did not make, let's go back 15 years ago, until my 4.5 year in network marketing, close to 1 million. It took me 4 years to get to that level. Now, this is how I looked when I first enrolled. I look like some ghetto fabulous guy on the street. Okay. This is my picture and Mike Hernandez. Now, Mike Hernandez does not look like that. Okay. I look like some B-boy that was breakdancing in the street there. But hold on. But that B-boy had dreams. That B-boy saw something when it comes to plugging in and exposure. I saw look at Mike Hernandez. He's like 90 pounds. His pants don't even fit him. But that man made $1 million. And I said to myself, wait a minute. If that man can make $1 million looking the way he looks, so can I. I am a different man now than I was 15 years ago, but I made that decision. Can you take the spotlight off, George, please?
Sure.
I made that decision because my head looks so big here. I look like a bobblehead on this thing here.
Yeah, I needed to see the picture because I couldn't see it otherwise.
I made a decision that, you know what? If things to change, I need to change. I want to go to this place called there. What person do I have to become to get to the place called there? And network marketing, I just feel, is personal development, self-growth attached to a compensation plan and an amazing product. That's my opinion. Okay. We all grow to the person who we want to be. That's why I said everything rises and falls on leadership. Okay. Everything's all about stories. Here is another, and I did this purposely as I grew on the stage with Stephen Gina Merritt when I hit the milestone rank in this company. Okay. It's a process that you have to go through. It took me. Now, I made an abundance amount of money, but it took me, Javi Solis, 15 years. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen to you. 15 years to be a top rank in a company. 15 years. Other companies, I was 3 away from it or whatever. Would it bother you in any type of way to make if it took you 15 years to make $1 million? Now, I did it in 4.5. Would it bother you to make 6 figures and it took you 3 years to do it? I'm putting things into perspective here, okay? Like, this is network marketing, like Chris said. You are building a network. Your net worth is your network, and it's done with one person at a time, with posture, creating a sense of urgency. And when I first met everybody here, I said, the one thing I have over you is experience, but the one thing you have over me is experience. And we're going to learn from each other. So when I teach to break your learning curve. So if it'll take you 2 years to do something, I want to break that if it can be down in 7 months as opposed to 2 years. Is why I love to teach. It's my job as a business partner to do this to everyone. But then when I see George and Chris and all the other leaders speak here, I sit back, I mute myself, and I listen. And I learn myself, because there's always something that's going to be said that can help me, not only as a person, but in my business as well. Okay. Respect the season that you are in. You could be in a season of growth, the season of abundance, the season of healing. Respect it, because the next season that you're going to face is going to catapult you closer to where you want to go in terms of your target. So you are where you're supposed to be right now. Okay. That's what I'm talking about, the leadership lid. Okay. Your business will never outgrow your level of leadership ever, 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 at all costs, Okay. So if you feel you're the smartest person in the room, or you want to be the smartest person in the room, then get out of that room and go into another room. You're in the wrong room. I never want to be number one. In fact, I never want to be number 2. I always want to chase somebody, because I always want to be better than yesterday and the day before that. I want to wake up in the morning knowing that I'm doing more than I did yesterday. And that raises your leadership lid. And it raises your posture and it raises your confidence level because you're keeping the promises that you make to yourself when you first got in this business. Is it easy? No. Is it simple? Yes. But everything is great is not going to be easy. It's not. So I'm going to ask you again, are you willing to wait 3 years to make 2 or 3 figures in your income, developing your network? I just gut punched a bunch of you. I was willing. But with my teaching and Mike's and Chris's and George and Onyx and Stephen Gina's, your 2-year target, we want to squash it down to a 7-month, 8-month target. Does that make sense? Because I want you to win. I want you to win. So if you have a target that you say, I want to do it in a year, I want to shrink that shit to 5 months. And it's my job, and it's George's job, and it's Chris's job, and it's Mike's job, Onyx, Stephen Gina's job to do that. And that's the importance when it comes to plugging in. Plug into everything. Now, do you have to stop your life? No, you don't. You don't have to stop your life. I'm asking you not to stop your life because you want this journey to be fun. You want it to be a story being told from day one you started, and here comes 6 months. You're developing a story on the journey so it can be relatable to the eye of the regular people who are looking. Now, I say this with a love in my heart, but if you're not willing, get off the Zoom. It's my job, it's George's job and Chris's job to be real for you because I love you enough to tell you the truth. Okay? There's all you people are here today because you want to win. And trust me, I want you to win. Okay? Tracy today went manager in just a couple of days, and she had some type of issue. I stepped in. I said, I need you to win. I want you to go manager today. She went manager today. And on top of that, the last person she enrolled somebody in Florida. Her and I connected. So guess what? While she's sleeping, I'm working her business. Why? Because I want her to win. But guess what? Guess who else will do that? George will do that. Chris will do that. Lucinda will do that. Sandy will do that. I can go on and on. Lara will do that. Ingy will do that with an incredible story because we want you to win. This is something that you have to do something every single day in your business. Every day. Whether it's one phone call, whether it's one text message, and it's called an income producing activity. Okay? Stop scrolling up social media and worrying about what the hell other people are doing and worry about what you're doing. How you're going to get yourself from here to here. And you know how to get there? It's just creating managers. We're about to break another senior presidential director in my business. Why? Because that person just did what he was instructed to because he had a target. And I'm not saying that to impress you, but to impress upon you. When you follow a system that is duplicatable and you just follow it within the next 90 days, your life will change drastically right under your eyes, and you're not even realizing it. I met George the first time. I met Chris, and they are different people now. Lara's a different person. Sandy's a different person now. Why? Because they listen and they do what they see, not what they're told. That's called duplication. Now, Chris and George don't want to be Javi Solis, but they can take my worth ethics. They can take my grit and my hustle because they are who they are. They are gifted on who they are. And so is Heather, and so is Andre. You have your gift that you can portray to people to allure them into your business. That's just how it is. That picture 15 years ago when I was ghetto fabulous, I didn't speak like that how I speak now? I didn't. And I did that on purpose. And I saved that. That picture is 15 years old. And I saved it because I knew how I was before, but I made the decision where I want to be now. So when I got into LifeWave, I knew exactly what I had. I knew exactly where I wanted to go, and I knew exactly what I needed to do to get there. What my job is to give that to you. I gave George, asked me, well, you have this many people and this many people, so how did it work? Well, I have like 900 people right now, and 12 are doing something, 6 are really hitting it hard. It's all about the number game, okay? Is everybody going to see what you see? No, they're not. You got to love people where they're at. You give your attention to people who deserve it, not who need it. Because the people who need it are going to suck the life out of you. Okay? And you're going to be just mentally exhausted, and you think that you're busy, but you're not productive. Okay? You think that you're busy answering all these calls, but you're not productive. And I learned all this through Stephen, Gina, Onyx, and Mike. All of it. Now, when people say, and all these motivational speakers say, you know, hey, how bad you want it? Shut up. Okay? I don't need to hear that. Resolve my problem. Okay? And the majority of the people problem who needs to be solved is financial health. Health is important. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put that finger up. Health is important. Okay? Financial health is important. It's up there with oxygen. A lot of people are looking for financial health as well. But we can lead with a good product because we have a reliable product called X39. Right? Posture. How do you get posture? By plugging in, knowing, falling more in love with your company, falling more in love with your product. That's how you get posture. So when someone comes at you with some bullshit, negative bullshit, you're going to be like, yo, go screw yourself. I know what I have. Get out of my way, because you know what? It takes courage to build this business, man. It really does. It really does. It takes courage to build this. Why? Because you have to understand and know what you want and where you want to go in this business and what it's going to take, which is called a strategy. I was like SpongeBob SquarePants. Just tell me what I needed to do, and I'm going to duplicate it. And exactly what I did my whole career of network marketing. My whole career. And let me tell you something. I was almost out of the door. I didn't want to do this again. But it wasn't a mistake that this came into my life. Why? It's my job to pour into my organization and pour into the people who want more in life and want to do something about it. How? By becoming manager. That's the first step to everything. Forget about every other rank. When you become a manager and you have a couple of people in your organization, then here we can build. And that's when George was saying, the people will raise their hands on who wants to do it. And George goes, how do you do it? I just ask, who wants to be a manager? And people go like this. Great. I need to talk to you. I did that over and over and over and over again. On every call. What was your favorite part of this presentation? I didn't ask if you're interested. What was your favorite part? If you ask if you're interested, you leave room for the critic. Oh my God, I got to do this. I got to talk like him. I got to look like him. He spits when he talks. He is bald. How is he doing this business? It leaves room for the critic. What was your favorite part? Wow, I don't mind making an extra $500 a month. Well, I could use that patch, so can my mom. Great, are you ready to get started? People don't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. Let me tell you something. You know how I enrolled in this business back 15 years ago? Remember the Gateway computers? Okay, Gateway computers. I had one that I sold to get into the business because I was desperate for change. Desperate. I sold a Gateway computer to enroll myself into this business. I sold a 6 CD changer with an amplifier to go to my first event. Yes, I am getting vulnerable and transparent with you. If things have changed, we need to change. Can you agree? Let me tell you something. This B-boy here did not have it all together when I first started. I had $6.23 in my bank account. Looking for something, looking to change. And the importance of you plugging in and looking at other people, hence Mike Hernandez, which he is probably 75 pounds heavier with muscle right now. If he can do it, so can I. I don't care how old you are. I don't care what color you are. I don't care if you have gray hair, no hair, black hair, purple hair. Ask a question. Who wants to go manage it? George went manager in 4 days. Chris went manager in like 3 hours. Because they knew where they wanted to go. You go manager, and from there we can build. We ask, who else wants to go manager in your organization? I do. People will identify themselves, or we will identify them through behavior. I'm not even going to pass manager because that is the core of the whole business. Go manager, 2 left, 2 right. And then when you get your 4 people, who wants more in life and is willing to do something about it? They will do this. And if they don't, sponsor 4 more people. Somebody will identify. It takes one, my lovely family. It takes one person to change your business and your life forever. One. Veronica Clarkston in my organization sponsors someone who's young living, who has sponsored 640 people. 640 people. You're never going to know who your next SPD is. Never. She is a senior presidential director in my organization. Veronica Clarkston used to pick up horse poop for a living. Used to make $300 a week. She's a director making $2,700 a week right now, the most money she ever made in her life as a director. I had a lot of aha moments with you guys right now. And I told Chris and I told George, I'm coming and I'm throwing down the thunder in this because there's more people on this page that should be winning more than where they are. But they have lowered their expectations about themselves. Raise your expectations about your targets. Lower your expectations when it comes to people. People will always let you down. But you will never let yourself down. My expectations when it came to where I wanted to go on my target was always high. I never lowered my expectations. Ever. And I don't expect any of you to lower yours because you're better than that. And we're here to create leaders, not followers. That's why everyone here has a voice. That's why everybody here presents. That's why everyone here teaches. Because we're here to create leaders, not followers. This is not a book club.
Mm-hmm.
This is an organization that we're building people to build and to be leaders and to create and to change their life to abundance the way we were created to be. The only thing is we have to do it ourselves, which is the journey. Now, I never, ever, one of the best advice that was given to me to a mentor, never leave your life in somebody else's hands. Ever. Why? Because people will always let you down. But your expectations on where your target is, where you want to go in life will never, because that's your dream. And that's what you're creating. I told Chris, I'm going to come here and I'm going to throw the thunder down because I want more people to win here. When I see someone get close to becoming a manager, I intercept and I get involved because I want to see them win. I want to see them win. Tracy became a manager today, and it was difficult because she had some obstacles. I said, nah, not happening, not on my watch. Made a couple of phone calls. Boom, she became a manager today. Okay, and people in her organization are going to upgrade to Diamond because they see the power of this business because of exposure. Exposure. Now, are you going to like everybody you see? Nah. But chew the meat, spit out the bones, take what you want, leave what you don't want. Okay? Steve and Gina made millions of dollars in this business, 50 million to be exact. I'm going to listen to them. I'm going to listen. Onyx Cole, I'm going to listen. I'm going to implement what they're teaching. The 331, go manager. I'm telling you right now, posture up and don't let anyone make you dance. Anybody. Don't let anybody make you dance because
Explain
you have the
what you mean by that, please. We had a real experience, Javi and I, about somebody making us dance.
You tell the story.
Okay, so one of my people in my first line, she said, "We've got this guy. Will you get on a call with him?" And his name is Rudy. He has social media following of hundreds of thousands of people. And I said, okay. And I got on a call with him. And then I said, Javi, will you join us on a call? And he actually, Javi, we both saw that he was a kind of a chest beating fellow, fairly ego driven rather than purpose driven, even though he talked about his purpose. But he made us dance. He kept asking more questions. He wanted more proofs. He wanted to speak with David Schmidt. He wanted this. He wanted that. He wanted the other. And Javi said, you know what? I'm not even going to get on another call with this guy. Don't let people make you dance. And, that was obviously for the person who brought him to talk to us, could have been somebody great because he's got a huge following, but he wanted to turn LifeWave into something else different to what it is. So don't allow people to make you dance. I will always answer all questions, help, and so on. But when I sense that the people are doing it we're not going anywhere, they're never satisfied. It's like a pot which can never be filled. It's because they're doing it for their own whatever. And so don't let people make you dance. I'll add one more.
Sandy Feast had a similar situation a couple of weeks ago. Okay, I'm not going to mention any names. This person came, I want to go straight to Steve and Gina. She called me, I said, absolutely not. I went just like that. She goes, what do you mean? I said, you're not going to let this lady make you dance and skip all this level of leadership for a question that you can answer? I said, I be damned. They're going to pass Lucinda. They're going to pass Chris. They're going to pass George. They're going to pass me to go to there. Absolutely not. They're going to respect our level of leadership. Let me tell you something. That she postured up. Didn't let her dance. That lady's in our business today. Okay. I am not going to have anyone disrespect our level of leadership because they want to go to the top because they're pumping their chest like a gorilla thinking they're going to do something. Okay. I don't care what you've done in the past. Okay. You're not going to pass and disrespect my level of leadership because you want to go up top because you're going to have a habit of doing that. And you're going to teach your team to do that. And we don't do that here. I respect our level of leadership to a big degree. And you're not going to disrespect my leader. So that person came in the organization because Sandy postured up. Okay? Don't ever let anyone make you dance at the end of the day.
I'll give you another example. There was a lady who got on a call, Spanish call, and she turned around to the person who invited her to the call, who called me really disturbed. She says it's a scam, and she says it's this, and she says it's that. And I said, let's see if we can turn around and make her the best ambassador for LifeWave. So I the lady had fibromyalgia. I translated Chris's mother's testimony to Spanish. I said, please give this to her and let's get her on a call with Davo, who comes from the world of medical laboratories. He has a totally different way of speaking than I do, than Javi does. A 5-minute call with him. with doubt, she went, okay, I'll go bronze. 10 days later, she was gold. And now she's says, I want to work with LifeWave.
Let's talk urgency here, folks. Let's talk urgency. I don't have much time because I have a very important meeting I have to attend to help a colleague of mine hit SPD. Now, let's talk urgency here. This is what I do. Do you have to do it? No, you don't. But people came on this call because they want to hear about realistic expectations, how to go manager, and urgency. And I'm going to teach you what I did and what we do out here. You don't have to do that. Chew the meat, spit out the bones. If you have people in your organization that get sponsored and they enroll, don't wait the following week to try to get their first 2 people in their business. Why? They probably gave you a bunch of money to get in here that they probably couldn't have, but they had the hope that they found the vehicle to get them to where they want to go in their life. Help someone earn a check as fast as possible, whether it's $50, whether it's $100 on a product introductory bonus. Help them earn a check so their belief level can go from here to here. It's crucially important. When somebody gets in, I am going to talk to them and say, this is who I am. I'd like to help you. How fast? Ask questions. How fast do you want to go manager? 30 days, I give it 2 weeks. I'll make sure they make it at least in 2 weeks. Why? Because I want you to have a business of addition, not replacement. Because I want people to stay into your organization. If a person makes $1 in this business, they know it's for real. But we offer more in LifeWave when it comes to making money here. It's just that we just have to do the work. A lot of people, not a lot of people, some people, hey, Javi, can you tone it down a little bit? Absolutely not. This is who I am. I'm not going to tone down my excitement because of you. Get off the fucking Zoom. I'm going to say that. Get off the Zoom. Don't talk to me then. Okay? It's just that simple. And they don't get off the Zoom. You know what I'm saying? But this is this is how I'm excited. If you can't handle me, then you can't handle Mike. Okay? Then forget about it. You can't handle Gina. So you might as well just plug into someplace else. Just go online and try to learn how to do this thing. But I'm talking from my heart. I'm talking to experience. I'm talking to my past pain because it comes out of me because I utterly want people to win because I know where I was. And if I become successful and George becomes successful and Chris becomes successful and they don't pass the baton to everybody else, shame on them. They're building a business not on purpose. They're building a business on manipulation. And we don't do that here.
Not the case.
Okay. We utterly want people to win. Okay. I just got it. And I just got a text message from someone on Sandy's team. I have an emergency of somebody who needs help enrolling. Can you help me? Abso-freaking-lutely. Why? I want that person to earn a check. Are you getting this? It's not hard. It's rinse, lather, and repeat. And it's not how bad you want it. It's not this. Shut up, that motivation crap. Inspire yourself to want to be a better version of you because people want to see the better version of you so they can see the better version of them. My name is Javi, and I'm your friend. And I come down like this because I want you people to win. And I get calls and text messages every day. Javi, this, help me this. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? I'm going to answer each and every one of them because I want you to win. And so does George. And so does Sandy. And so does Lara. And so does Chris. And so does Lucinda. They want to see you win. Alistair, everyone wants to see you win, Alistair. They just want to see you win. This is called community. You get me? This is called community. And that's why people are here because they're a part of something that's bigger than them. They're part of something that it makes them feel good. Some people just stay for the feeling. They don't give a crap if they don't make $1, but they love the feeling of being heard. So as leaders, we have to do more of the listening than the talking. Okay. I see other teams. My God, I get such a migraine because they talk about themselves. It comes out of their paws, and I just had this diarrhea of the mouth, and I just want to throw up. And I walk away. I say, you know what? They don't have the culture that we have here. They don't have it. And I'm like in my mind, shut up. Holy shit. Stop talking about yourself. You'll see it. And you'll hear it and you'll witness it. And you say, damn, Javi was right. This guy talks a lot of shit. But you know something? But that's okay. I love you all, to tell you the truth. And I really want you to win. Plugging in is crucially important. And you know what? And if you can't get on live, go on the recording. Just plug in. The This Is It conference, it should be packed to the gills with everybody here on it. Why? It's going to change everything in your business, because you're going to fall more in love with LifeWave. You're going to fall more in love with your leadership, because what they have to pour into you. You build the person will build the business. Okay? I will build you brick by brick, by brick by brick. Because everybody comes here broken. Makes sense? And it's okay. Javi was broken. Chris was broken. I heard his story. George was broken. I heard his story, but brick by brick by brick, they got built. And the more they talk, the more wisdom they have. The more wisdom they're going to give you, the more wisdom you're going to intake. And that wisdom, you're going to instill it into your business. And what happens? Your business just grows. Your leadership increases, and your business increases with it. You probably thought I ate like a ton of double D batteries right now, but I didn't. I told you I'm going to come full force on this because I want you to win. Go manager. And when you go manager, you ask the question, who wants to go manager? And guess what? The people will identify themselves. Listen, I have to go. We're going to make another senior presidential director. I have to do a meeting. Just go manager. I promise you. When the people identify themselves, George, Chris, Lucinda, Linda, everybody here, Alistair, will get a strategy together, and we can build from there. Forget about director. Forget about everything else. Just go manager first. And from there, we can build.